I wanted to thank you for taking time to speak with me today.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure.
Man, such a great album. I wanted to ask you, when did you start work on this album?
We had like one or two songs like right when the first record was done back in
Mhm.
2017, essentially. And then we kind of had some stuff going on internally with family stuff and, all the things that come in life. We
Sure,
out with each other just with life going on. It kind of slowed us down. But we really started to pick up steam again like 2018, 19. We started working on some stuff more. Then the pandemic hit, but we
right.
did a tour with Suffocation at Death All in 22 or 23. We got home from that tour. It was like full on writing mode. We got to work, and that's when most of the record was written. Was right after that Death All tour.
And Policies of Hate is my favorite track on the album. I wanted to ask
Damn.
you if you could speak on that track.
Yeah, that was one that kind of came together pretty easy. Like it wasn't, we didn't fight it very much.
Hmm.
And like everyone's own individual parts really made it what it was. I had a specific idea in my mind for the drum beat, and I always send Norm just the riff, you know what I mean, and then see what he does to it.
Hmm.
And he did something completely different, which made it a million times better, and it made me rethink what I had to do to it. So it just totally came together that way, and the stuff Don did on it was awesome too. But it's political, sure, but
Yeah.
it's not very obvious where I'm at in my head. I don't think at least. But it's for anyone to you know put their own spin on it, however they want to think of it.
Sure,
It's
absolutely.
not up to me to tell you how to think, but you know,
And I wanted to ask you,
yeah,
The Curse of the Devil's Bible. I wanted to ask you, was Sentenced to Die meant to be an extended intro to that track?
exactly. So I was thinking about it in like a side A, side B sort of vinyl version. So
Hmm.
like Sentence to Die was just like the sorry I'm gonna mall. The it was like an intro to that, but it kind of became the intro to side B more so. So it was always kind of there, and then we chopped it just to make it its own track.
And I think it's a perfect song to begin a second side because it's
Yeah,
killer from top to bottom. That's another track I truly love.
sick. Yeah, that's a fun one. All the pull offs and kind of quick little weird little riffs in it. It was
Yeah.
definitely a different one for us. Fun
And,
though.
and I wanted to ask you as well, what are a lot of your lyrical inspirations from? Are they basically from life experiences?
Um, there was like a lot of societal
Hmm.
issues on this record that we put in. Not a lot of fantasy, which we don't do too much of, like Empress of Evil and Curse is kind of a fantasy one too. But like, most of it's kind of like societal issue stuff. Very Megadeth to me. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Dave always had a little weird quirks. He would say things and you didn't know what he meant by it, but you can interpret it your own way. So it's kind of like
Sure.
that. But yeah, not really. Just observations more so, less experience, more observational, I guess.
Hmm.
That's the best way I could put it.
And I wanted to ask you as well, with the time off, were there any points of time where the band was like where you guys weren't communicating, or was everything solid? It's just a matter of what was going on?
Pretty much what was going on. We were always, communicating. Norm and I have been pretty much best friends since I started working for him. He used to own a record store in San Diego called Blue Meanie Records, and he's one of my oldest friends of all time. It's never any contact. And Don, I met him. He was in another band in San Diego called Under the Stone, and we stayed close friends the whole time. It was never ever any bad blood between us when we weren't doing stuff, but just everyone had life shit going on, so we kind of
Sure.
focused on things that were a little more important to the band at the time. So,
And I wanted to ask you as well if you could take me back to the very beginning and tell me how the band formed.
ooh, um, Norm and I were doing another band, and that was dissolving. And then Don was starting to come in to play in that band, like right when it was failing.
Mm,
Not for our own reason. The singer was doing some shady stuff, and he went to prison for it, thankfully. But stuff we didn't know about. But the band went away, and then in that time, I was like, well, the three of us are already playing. Why don't we just do this?
sure.
the three of us were the ones that were getting along, and it was problems with the other guys. And I was like, I got this one song which was Warwolf off the first record. I
Hmm.
was like, we could do a thrash band, and like I wasn't a singer at the time, but being in that band made me want to be the singer because it was like, why do I need this guy to ruin everything when
Sure.
I could
Yeah,
ruin it myself. But
absolutely.
that's when I started singing. So the three of us started doing that as a trio, and that's where it all began.
I wanted to ask you too as well if you could speak on the album artwork as far as it conceptually and the artist that was involved in it.
I usually have a really strong idea what I'm thinking as far as the art because it kind of just goes hand in hand with music. But we're using like our mad scientist guy. Again, he's on the first record,
Yes.
and there's some elements of different songs in the cover. Like there's the Bible there sort of thing, and then
Mm.
underneath it is the Codex. Not the Codex, the Bhagavad Gita. It's like the Hindu Bible where it's "I become death," which is from the first record too. So it's kind of playing
Sure.
back there. But the Empress of Evil is in the background, and he's kind of doing like I wanted to make it like scientific, but also like black magic like.
Hmm.
It's almost like he's a scientist, but he's doing like black magic to like bring her back. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much the concept of it. But it's our own character, our own Vic Rattlehead, or you
Sure.
know what have you. We'll stick with him.
And who's responsible for doing the art?
An Indonesian artist by the name of Megan Mushi. He's done some other stuff for us too, like some T-shirt designs and stuff like that. Really rad artist, and it's all
Yeah.
like digital pen, so he really draws it, but it's digitally. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that's cool too, because he'll send a sketch, and we'll kind of tweak some things in the sketch, and once we're happy with where the sketch is at, then he runs wild with coloring it, and then we go from there. But he's super rad artist to work with.
I wanted to ask you as well if you could take me back in time in your history and tell me how you started into music and what are the things that influenced you to get into music.
Uh, Probably Ozzy and Sabbath. I think that was always in my house growing up, as long as I can remember. But probably specifically uh, No More Tears, like Desire.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That song, like just the way it all worked together, I'm like, that's cool as hell. I want to do that. That's probably the song that made me want to play. But I was probably 12 at the time, maybe. So a while after the record came out, but it was always in the house, but definitely Ozzy and Sabbath.
And what led up to you said the transition to going to vocals in this band.
Yeah.
Had you done anything in the past where you did like backing vocals and stuff with other bands?
Yeah, a little bit of backing vocals. And when we started doing this, and I sent them the first song, and I was like, I showed them some vocal stuff, and it was rough as hell. Like I didn't know what the hell I was doing,
Mm.
but just like anyone, you have to find your stride in it. But I was like, just trust me on this, guys. Like it's gonna be
Right.
cool. Once I figured this out, it's gonna be awesome. And by the time we got to the first record, I, kind of think I got a grasp on it. But now I feel much more confident in that art. So
And you're
yeah,
in Poland right now. What are you
yeah.
doing there, my friend? Are you doing
Uh,
gigs there?
yes, but not with Nukem. For my day job, it's not much of a day job, but it works for me. I guitar tech for different bands and tour
Ah,
with them and like kind of, you know, take care of the rigs and stuff like that, stage manage and all that stuff. But I'm here with Exodus currently, and we're on tour with Creator, Carcass, and Nails
to
all through
show you
Europe.
my age, I saw the Headbangers tour. The first time I saw Exodus is Exodus, Halloween, and Anthrax
Oh,
together.
nice. Was that 89 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sick.
it's back to Toxic Waltz days.
Yeah.
I
Oh, yeah. They still play it. So,
wanted to, well, the new album's fantastic. I don't know if you had a chance to hear it, but that album is killer as well, top to bottom.
which one? The Exodus record?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I was there for like 2 weeks when they were recording it. So I went and got the gear from their storage and brought it down to the studio and helped set up drums and, pretty much all the way to getting like guitar tones. And once Gary was tracking rhythms, I stayed for like another week probably and then split. They didn't need me anymore. But I was there for about 2 weeks. It's a good record. I love it.
Hell yeah. And speaking of touring, will we get to see you on the road?
Yeah, we're working on some stuff. Nothing scheduled yet, but I like to think soon.
And you've made this killer album from top to bottom, my friend. I wanted to ask you, what's the best way to get hold of this album and any merchandise that you have?
Uh, Redefining Darkness Records, their website. You can order it from the U.S. store if you're ordering in the States. If you're ordering from Europe, Asia, Canada, it's a little expensive to Canada right now, but anywhere else in the world, you go to the Euro UK store, and that'll be the best shipping price for you. Just with everything going on with tariffs and all that.
Oh yeah, I know it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you as well, with the release of the album, were there any tracks that didn't make the cut for this release?
Um, I had some ideas, but those kind of ideas where it only goes like 3 riffs long, and I wasn't sure where to go with it at that point. There's nothing that was like completely written that didn't make it. I had like another probably like 6 stems that didn't make it to this one, but it's just little ideas,
Sure.
that didn't fully make it. And then after that, after we were done with the record, I wrote like another dozen of those. So, the
And
next record's well underway for that. Yeah.
that was my next
Yeah.
question. In the with the fact that I love this album so much, I
Thank you.
wanted to ask you, can we be rest assured that there will not be another wait for the new one?
Not this long, I'll tell you that. So our plan right now is because the first record's out of print, sold out. You can find it online some places, the physical copy, but it never did make it to vinyl. But it was supposed to because there was issues with the plant and the previous label. So my plan is to reissue that one like a year from now, just to space out the release, and then
Sure.
hopefully a year after that we'll be pushing the new record.
Hell yeah, great.
Kind of like a little 3-year plan sort of deal. So,
And lastly, my friend, I wanted to ask you if you could give a message to your fans, what message would you give them?
shit. We've received a lot of positive, feedback on this record so far, and we appreciate it all. We're like a lot of bands say this. We write it for ourselves, make ourselves happy, and then when other people are stoked on it too, it's a really cool feeling. So we're stoked you guys like it. Hope to see you out there soon and play some shows. In your neck of the woods, wherever that may be. So thanks
Oh
for the
yeah.
support.
And I wanted to thank you for one delivering an album that I love top to bottom. I
Thank
wanted
you.
to thank you as well for giving me an opportunity to go back and listen to your first album and hear
Yeah.
the progression between the two. And it's absolutely fantastic to follow your
Thank you.
journey.
Thank you. That's the progression you mentioned. That was kind of a big thing for us. Like when we really started buckling down in this record, we talked about bands' second records. You have like
Yeah.
Ride the Lightning and
The,
Peace Cells.
mm,
Uh, Spreading the Disease for Anthrax. It's like all these bands were awesome on their debut. Then the second record, it was like they matured big time.
sure.
So we wanted to have that leap of like, we upped the level on everything, and what I mean, made a much better record than the first one. Hopefully, maybe not
Absolutely.
better, just more diverse or more grown up, I guess.
And
But I,
sonically, it just hits there too. I love
yeah,
the sound of the album sonically as well. I mean,
thank you.
it's a it's a good one to rumble the place with.
Yeah, wake up the neighbors.
Absolutely.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
I wanted to thank you for taking time to speak with me. It's
yeah.
been an absolute pleasure speaking with you and getting to know you.
Same
Please
here.
keep it,
Appreciate it, man.
please keep in touch, my friend.
Definitely. Thanks
You
for checking
take,
it out.
thank you. You have a great rest of your day.
You too. Thanks, brother.